Some of you may be aware that right in front of you is a Games Workshop building. I've forgotten which one it is. I think it's the Basilica, but I'm not sure. Let's go with that. It's one of the Games Workshop buildings for Warhammer 40,000. So what the video is about today, if you haven't guessed, all of those that have clicked to view it, this is about making the very most out of your Games Workshop scenery, so specifically these buildings. I really enjoy painting these buildings. There's a lot of detail, but there's a lot of stuff you just have to miss, because you'll just get bogged down and it can look way too busy if you're not careful. A lot of you I know have probably come over from Templars Crusade 01's channel. His board looks fantastic. He's got a lot going on there, and he's picked out loads and loads of details, but he's got the balance just right. I think if he picked out too much or a little bit more, it would have been way too much, but he's got the balance right. So by doing that, you start to make the pieces look really good, and they start to perform. So I'm going to start by talking to you about the kit itself. So corner ruins are kind of your traditional gaming piece of scenery, because it's the easiest to perform on with your miniatures. Okay, it's the easiest to play around with. You can use multiple levels. It's freestanding. It doesn't need support. It very rarely breaks. So there's lots of positives there. When you pick up these kits, try and have an idea of what you're doing. I mean, I picked it up and I basically copied Games Workshop's buildings for the first few, and then the other ones I got, because I'd gotten used to the kit, I built some different ones. Okay. The other thing is keep all the spares. They come in so handy. Like the building I'm going to be working on with you guys today, I've actually used an amalgamation of kits. So if I just grab it, it is mostly the Manufactorum. So it's this one here. It's mostly Manufactorum, but I've also got these walls are from another kit. I've used floor tiles from another kit as well, and I've just got bits and bobs from other kits, to be honest. This wall as well is from a different one. So yeah, there we go. And that's just the way that I like to work, is to mix things up just a little bit, to add a little bit of flavour. So I've thought about where things have hit, what it would do. So something's hit there, pushed through, smashed the ladder on the other side, and the other bit's left remaining. Something's also smashed down, so at an angle. It's ripped this away. I've put some wires in there using brass rod, just to kind of have something hanging, because I thought that was quite cool. But at the moment, there's no rubble, and that's the other thing. I like to base on movement trays, just because they've already got the square tiles. They're very rigid, they don't bend when you glue stuff to them. But yeah, I like to leave quite a bit of this showing, just because my buildings, I imagine, in a proper built-up city situation. But yeah, so piles of rubble is what we're going to do. Okay, so see you in a sec. I'll just get started talking about what we're going to need today. First off, apologies for the bad angle, but there we go, that's the way it happens. I haven't really got professional equipment, okay, so I'm just doing what I can with what I've got, which is good. So what I'm going to start doing is getting some bits out, and I'm going to start using those. There we go, there they are. I'm going to start using those to kind of break this up a bit, make it a bit more interesting. I've already started with some bits and bobs just lying around. No, you're not going to be able to see that. No, there's a bit there up on top, but I'll show you some proper videos when it's done. Okay, so I'm going to start by laying out these bits and bobs and see how it works. Okay, so that is all the bits and bobs, all the junk and scrap and broken rubble and all that put down for now. Okay. But if you look back to the piece that I showed you at the beginning of the video that was all painted, you might remember big mounds of dirt and rubble and just thrown up rubbish and junk. So this is the first stage, okay? This is where you lay down bits where you think piles of rubble might start to show up, okay? So this gives you something to build around. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my ready mixed filler to put down some big piles of rubble. So the way I do this is quite simple, and it involves kinetic energy, and that's basically I'm just going to stick my hands in it and apply it. Okay, so I'm going to do a little speed up video and show you me doing that basically. So that's the messiest bit out of the way. My hands are my hands are filthy, but I'll wash them in just a second. But yeah, so as you can see, these look like big mounds of snow at the moment. But I was using water to basically blend them in with the surface, so that when I put sand down, it doesn't just look like I've plonked sand on top of polyfiller. I want it to look like big mounds of sand and rubble and stuff. I've just realised I've missed one there, and that looks like a big white dog poo. So I'm going to sort that out. I'm going to blend that back in just a second, okay? This side hasn't got very much. I wanted to leave one side kind of clear because it's the least rubbly side, I think. This broke off whilst I was doing this, you might have noticed. I'm going to fix that as well. Yeah, I've put lots of rubble around this just because there were lots of kind of gaps where it was broken and stuff. But hopefully this will cover up most of that. So yeah, next up is going to be leaving this to dry, and then once that's dry, using PVA glue and sand over the top of these, just like you do with your bases normally. You could even use texture paint if you really wanted to, that might look quite cool. But me, I'm going to use sand because that's what I've done for all my other buildings. It's got a weird haze to it, but I'm using some new lighting. Well, not some new lighting, I'm borrowing some lighting. There we go, it's gone back to white, cool. So, I thought I'd do a video here, using the good camera because it has battery life, and using my girlfriend's good light, which I think I'm going to need to buy one. And her tidy desk as well, which is quite cool. But anyway, right, what have I got to talk about? All the filler has dried. I've then gone over it with PVA glue. Literally about 5 minutes ago, so it's not really dry yet, but oh well. And then gone over it with some kind of low grade sand that's got bits and bobs in it, so bits of stone, all sorts of stuff like that. I think it's like flower arrangers sand, but I don't know. It was in the shed and it works, so it's cool stuff. You will use quite a lot of sand on this, by the way. The other thing I've got to do, stick some slate on there just to get some big bits and bobs. So I'm going to do that, and then I will see you in a bit, and that's it. So with the stones, that's really broken up the rubble. Bit of flicker there. Yeah, it's really broken up the rubble. So all that's left to do is to spray this and get it painted, which is going to be my part 2 for how to make the most out of your Games Workshop scenery. Cheers for watching, guys. I will see you in a bit.